it's time. Time for something that because, yeah, the Epic Game Store. That would be one. Oh god, what is that? What is that screen telling at the bottom of the screen? Dear Lord, what is that? But anyway, the Sinking City. Yeah, the Sinking City. It's a game that I almost missed because it came out on the Epic Game Store instead of Steam. Yay. Fun times. So what is with the bar at the bottom here? I wonder if that's even being picked up by the recording. Okay, so I made the window bigger. Oh well. So now I can't see the bottom and hopefully not screen tears bad. It does look a bit weird here on the sides. But yeah. So from what I've seen so far, this is basically, well, if you remember Call of Cthulhu, which was basically all the hype for it, because an actual Call of Cthulhu game that isn't Dark Corners of the Earth. And Dark Corners of the Earth, I don't want to say was bad, it's just it had issues. A lot of issues. But for a game of the mythos, it was pretty damn good. Because, well, you didn't really have that much competition. Then Call of Cthulhu came out. It was, let's go mediocre at best. Because, yeah, it's like, well, you could do things this way, well, this way. Options to get through things, but ultimately it all leads up to about the same plot line. And then, well, see which ending you're gonna get. Though I did like some of the endings. But ultimately, it was a mediocre game. Didn't really do that much detective work. I mean, you were a detective, but you didn't really do that much detective work. Didn't make sense. So now there's a Sinking City, which is, oh boy, you get to do all the detective work. And you get to go shoot things. I guess we did shoot things at like one point in Call of Cthulhu, but still, we get to shoot things. But yeah, it's like if you took Call of Cthulhu mixed with Vampyr, because of like how the map is and exploration stuff. And then I had Murdered So Suspect, because of a few over mechanics. But anyway, there's also how to play, which basically gives you tutorial things, like the casebook contains things, evidence, all. It's gonna be a lot of detective stuff. There's also the map, evidence modes, or could submit the case. Stuff. And then combine pairs of evidence, deductions, all sorts of fun detectory stuff. And then there's diving. Oh, I'm gonna hate that so much. That always bothers me, so I never know where to put my audio levels. So we'll try that. Anyway, the Sinking City. First, welcome, dear Mr. Charles Reed. As you requested, I've researched the outbursts of hysteria and visions in the city of Oakmount, Massachusetts. Turns out that your assumptions were correct. Such cases are indeed more frequent now. Men and women from across the country are drawn to Oakmount, haunted by visions similar to yours, a city drowning in the presence of something great yet unknown. So like acid, I believe we've stumbled upon the source of your ailment, the person who might help you with it. Prepare yourself. and come to Oakmont as soon as you can. I will meet you, here to help you on your way. Cordially, Johannes von Durberg. Yay, loading screens. Fun times. Oh, great illusions. Including the illusion of safety. Reasons unknown, the city is missing on most maps. Great. Pen evidence. Press any button to continue. It's like I guess. Oh, boom. Holy crap, look at my head. Like, holy crap. It's on high. Everything there was supposed to go decent, but the hair was gonna fall. Oh yeah. Gunpowder torch range.
Hope I never have to use it, but something tells me I will.
Okay, ladder, side cases, main case. Mind powers. So, a trophy player with a strange fish? It's very lifelike. So, we have notes with the city, correspondence, documents, peace area, mythos. We have all sorts of things. And then we have skills. That's a thing. Traps. Keeping it boat loaded. Can't trust the double damage with the pistol. Load revolver. Rifle. Machine gun, shotgun, grenades, traps. Okay, one more first aid. Carry one more grenade. Carry 3 more rifle rounds. 10 more submachine gun rounds. 6 more rifle. So just carry more ammo. Throwing from height to those health damage. Vitality, melee attack speed, more crafting materials, save materials from crafting explosives, crafting ammunition, just in general, from crafting first aid kits, earn more experience, even more experience. Double the quest reward. Remain sane for longer than any ordinary human. Yeah, I think honestly, first thing I'd want to do is go for the more experience. Should make things easier. But anyway, that hair is good fun. But there's slight motion blurriness to it too, which. There's no... Oh, maybe it's resolution quality. So what if I do that? Oh, that's much better. I'm probably that's probably going to tank my frames. But yeah, that's so much better. And that's probably going to
Never trust a tourist advertisement. Never trust a tourist advertisement.
Now get out! Now get out!
At last, Mr. Charles Reed. What a pleasure to finally meet you in the...
Nice to meet you.
Johannes van der Berg, at your service. I did promise to meet you the moment you arrived.
Much obliged, Mr. Vanderberg. I guess I didn't expect you to mean so literally.
Please call me Johannes. But where are my manners? Welcome to the proud city of Oakmont. Alas, now is not its finest hour, though it is its most important.
That's an eye-catching suit.
Thank you, Mr. Reed. A mere flood is no excuse for one to abandon one's style.
I take it you're a big fan of yellow.
Well, I have a particular weakness for it. Call it a personal quirk.
I get what you do. Thank you for reference to the king and
You said you know someone who can help me with my problem. The visions have been getting worse.
Such vividness of dreams is not uncommon here in Oakmont. By chance, the man I spoke of, Robert Throgmorton, is already at the port. He has dedicated a lot of time and effort to investigate this issue. Alas, I fear he has a more pressing matter on his hands.
How can I find Mr. Throckmorton?
Don't worry, you can't miss him. Throgmorton tends to stand out from the crowd.
Can you tell me a little about Mr. Throckmorton?
A remarkable creature. Scion of a robust bloodline. A philanthropist, a scholar, and the patron of the famous Oakmont University. A man of great ambitions and even greater ego. Do not make him wait.
Reaching Oakmont was no easy task. Most maps I found didn't mark it, and this rickety packet ship is the only one that sailed here. Why is that?
Oakmont is no ordinary place. Its unique geographical position and the flood, a recent natural disaster, make it nigh impossible to reach. But you made it, Mr. Reed. I'm sure the tides of fate would have brought you here one way or another.
Tell me about this flood.
It began 6 months ago. Storms raged for several weeks, and the water has risen ever higher without receding. Now the city is cut off from the mainland. I must say I rather like it, despite the inconvenience. Atmosphere, you know?
I'll need a place to lay my head while I'm here. Any recommendations?
Fear not. I've already feathered a nest for you. There's a room in your name at the Devil's Reef Hotel. Here's the key.
Sounds charming.
Don't judge a book by its cover, Mr. Reed.
How do you fill your days, Mr. Vanderberg?
I host a philosophy club for the like-minded intelligentsia, gathering seeds of thought like moths drawn to a flame.
Does Oakmont really have much of a market for philosophy these days?
There is no consciousness without pain, Mr. Reed. No better moment for clarity than times of hardship.
What's the best way to get around Oakmont? I'd like to drop my things at the hotel.
Most locals go by foot, or by boat. I've got the latter sorted for you. There's one waiting outside the port.
You're too kind, Johannes. Can you steer me towards the Devil's Reef?
Take this map. I've marked the hotel and a few other key places.
Other places? Like what?
You're a private eye, yes? Well, I've highlighted the police station, city archive, newspaper, places you'll need to get to the truth. This city is insular, its ways mysterious. No one will take you by the hand, so you better know where to turn in search of a lead.
Well, that's it for now, I think. Thanks for helping me get my bearings.
No. The pleasure was mine, Mr. Reed.
Oh, before you go, how can I get in touch with you later?
Don't worry about that. I'm the kind of man who finds you.
Of course. Why? So let's look at the map. Guessing the green means we collected all evidence. But yeah, holy crap. Look at what we have to deal with here. And we're basically right in this area. But yeah, we have the hospital, police department, newspaper, the hotel, the asylum. Yeah, thanks for marking the asylum on the map. The library, City Hall. Because remember, we're a detective. We probably have to end up going to these places to get look up clues and stuff. You know, actual detective work. In fact, let's go over here to options settings. In fact, there's two difficulties. One for investigation and one for combat. I'm keeping investigation apparently on like the easiest difficulty. So basically, evidence in your case for weapon icon indicate you can use it to advance the case, which is nice. If I was at you on what I guess is normal, you have no hints, leading you to work out what action to take next. The problem though is I'm stupid, so I sort of need that. And also Master Sleuth, you receive no hints at what to do. In your investigation, no prompts to visit. Yeah, you have to just figure out surely. Oh. Yeah, I prefer having it tell me that, hey, you should probably advance stuff. And normal as well, basically. You want monsters to have less health. Do you want monsters to have more health? And you go insane faster. Yeah, normal's fine. Quit the main menu, yeah, I didn't really change anything, so shush you. What's the case work? We've gotten our first objective, find Robert Throckmorton. And a key to Darrow's Reef Hotel. First have lore. So you said, oh, I guess I have to actually poke it. Okay. But yeah. Sort of like how we arrived in Call of Cthulhu. Arrived on an island. No, not right.
Hey, knock it off!
My bad. Okay, walk in. You don't say. You don't say. God. Dilute. Not the Call of Cthulhu, right? There's the Call of Cthulhu. Fish squid, eels, tentacles. Oh, yeah, look at this. Oh, I got this sun on. Yeah, we've done this next month. Go to a little more Dagon. You know, in-smell, fish people, deep ones. This is mostly just a tutorial for now. Now we have clips. Here's loot. Like, but there's the frames. What if I hop over? What's gonna happen if I end up stuck? If I could just climb over. At least that. Back.
I don't care about your petty excuses. No one leaves the port until my son is found, and that is fine.
Excuse me. Are you Robert Throgmorton?
I am, but not interested. Go away.
The name's Charles Reed. I'm a private
Oh,
investigator, just arrived from Boston. I was told you might be able to help me.
Private investigator, you say? Well, perhaps we can help each other.
Yeah,
Please forgive the question, but I've never met a man quite like you before.
That's because no man measures up to the Throgmorton lineage. Proud and powerful blood flows through our veins. My father united with a certain royal family, which has blessed all our offspring with these exquisite features.
I've heard you're the man to speak to about visions, outbreaks of hysteria. I'm trying to get to the bottom of it myself.
Another newcomer with another problem. Yes, I know what you speak of.
Can I ask you a few questions?
How dare you? My son Albert is missing, and no one in this Innsmouth-ridden city will do a damn thing. But yes, let's talk about your dreams.
If I may ask, what happened to your son?
Why do you care? What's your angle, outsider?
Well, like I said, I'm a PI. Finding people is kind of my specialty.
Yeah,
Is
still
it?
looks like a pet.
Well, Albert was part of a deep-sea expedition I commissioned. This useless fool over here says he found Albert washed ashore in a lifeboat. Says he was barely conscious, out of his mind, talking gibberish in some other language. That he even tried to bite him.
And you don't believe him?
Complete malarkey. I know my Albert. I raised him strong and smart, the best of his kind. It couldn't have been him. Albert's disappearance is the work of Innsmouthers, mark my words.
So, who are
I
they?
take it you're not the biggest fan of these Innsmouthers.
Those fish-faced freaks have overrun this city since the police burned Innsmouth to the ground. But now, those filthy migrants occupy half this damned city. The port, Grimhaven Bay, Salvation Harbor, the shells. They are everywhere.
So they're just refugees.
Hardly. They've taken work from the local fishermen. They stir and agitate against us, the Throgmorton family. We are the pillar of this community, not to mention that crime rates have skyrocketed. Simply speaking, they are a big stinking pile of trouble.
So, we have Call of Cthulhu, King of Yellow, King Davey. Not sure what Hangman would be from. HP Warfare. We have Shadow of Brains. Now we just need Dunwich Horror and Animation. We can have a whole fun load of things we Lovecraft and go through all at once. It's like we're tossing everything.
Mr. Throgmorton, let me help you. I'm rather good at tracking down missing people. I'll find Albert.
What makes you think you can do it? Oakmont is not exactly friendly to new arrivals.
Well, I'm a prophet,
Let's
baby.
just say I tend to see things that others
And I'm
miss.
gonna get Guthrie.
And anyway, what have you got to lose? Sounds like you could use every man you can get.
Vera. You have a point, newcomer.
Sorry, did you just say Vera? What does that mean?
You had better get used to the Oakmont dialect, outsider. That is, if you want to fit in. It is a fascinating blend. Vera means fine. I was saying, we have a deal.
I see.
Alpha
Thank you.
World. Wonderful.
I need to know more about what happened to Albert.
Dane, did you not listen at all? I already told you everything. After leaving on the expedition, Albert was found on the shore in a lifeboat. This fisherman supposedly brought him to their house, and then left to call me.
I need more
But when I arrived here, my son was nowhere to be seen.
Anything else?
Clearly, something suspicious occurred inside the house. I suggest you stop dawdling and go see for yourself.
Otherwise,
Where's the house where this all happened?
For Kay's sake, I thought you were a private eye. Was standing right in front of it.
You mentioned a lifeboat. Is it still around?
Yes. Face the house, then to the left is a beach that borders a fence. You'll find it there.
As much as I'm enjoying the weather, Mr. Throgmorton, it's time for me to get started.
Find my son, newcomer, and be quick about it.
Those are like her eyes. They're so bloodshot. But I need to check on something. Hoop. Herp. Oh god, the lag. Yeah. Buttons. Apparently it doesn't want to cooperate. Oh well. And I can save at any time. Well, I should probably save. Did it actually save? Yes. Okay. So, map. They didn't mark the lifeboat though. I have a generator. Also, yes, we do have magical mechanisms. We could do this, which drains our sanity, but it lets us see things that others may miss. At the cost of our sanity. Just thankfully our sanity comes back to us.
Where's your Oberon, huh, Titania?
Can't catch a mackerel since those Innsmouthers took over the fishing business.
Do you like it here, newcomer? Well, get used to it. No one leaves Oakmont nowadays.
Well, that's just
Something with this helmet gives me chills. What's wrong with it?
well, it's closed reading for starters. Hope someone friendly. My name is Albert Rock. Quite well. I want you to warn. Don't go to the desert. That was stuff. You should have never done that. Everything should have remained the pressure. Blank, the failure, but we're becoming me, seeing my brain enter out with my eyes. The cycle goes on and on and on. The end comes. There's one ever. Still my phone. Spooky around here that I need to look at. My vision. First, I might as well show what happens when your sanity starts getting too low. I don't have anything to really look at over here. Well, wait. Nope, not really. Sorry, yeah. Everything, but then you start seeing things. Then we start freaking out. Yeah. That's gonna be a fun town. Super duperly Okay, Discord isn't registering that I'm playing this. I need to make sure it registers that I'm playing this. Come on. God, Discord's so slow when I'm doing stuff. Okay, game activity. Come on. You can do it. Discord, why? Okay, not seeing your game, add it. Come on. Wow, I still don't see it. That's... Okay then. I can't detect my game. That's weird. Okay, Discord, go. Shoot. Shoot, Discord. Discord, shoot. Weird. Now, hey. That was the first part of how it's dead short. Well, that's all. No, I haven't looked at it. Oh, there we go. What if I touch you?
I've said everything I know.
Don't do anything stupid, newcomer. And keep your hands where I can see them.
No, I'm gonna do something stupid. Observe a flashlight. Yay, flashlight. Now the game's probably gonna lag because I touched Discord. Fun times. What if I use my MacGuffin sense? Oh, this place is a shithole. Lovely. At least it means there's icons of the door show up.
Huh. This dog mat looks better than the owner's bed.
Indeed it does. I'm not sure that's a clue. More shell casings and gunpowder.
The book is damp and damaged, but clearly well cared for. The book is damp and damaged, but clearly well cared for. The book is damp and damaged, but clearly well cared for.
Not seeing anything that is clue-wise. Or I could head upstairs.
Let's see what you find, newcomer.
It would take tremendous effort to move this thing, let alone tossing it over like this.
What's
Hello?
your story?
Hey, can you hear me?
Oh, my head. What? Who are you? Are you police? I've already told them everything.
It's okay. I'm Charles Reed, Private Eye. Mr. Throgmorton hired me to find his son.
Oh, okay. What do you want?
I want to know what happened here. Every detail.
I don't remember much. Me, Paul, and Lewis. We were here. This is our house. Barry was outside, on his business. Then he came back carrying Throgmorton's son. He was unconscious, barely breathing. Barry left again to call Mr. Robert.
Then what?
We put the guy in Lewis's room. Then he started to make these horrible sounds and... okay, my head began to burst. And he woke up. And after that, I don't remember a thing, just dreams. Drowned streets, a sleeping giant, a voice that called me...
That sounds familiar.
So who are you, son?
Tell me about yourself.
Name's Will Hammond. I'm a fisherman. We all are. Live here together. Me, poor fella Paul, Barry, and Innsmouther Lewis Flynn. We moved here after the flood. I worked on the railroad, but the rail ain't kicking anymore, so I started fishing. It was add or starve.
So...
Where are all the other guys?
That's Paul there on the floor. Kay be with him. Barry's outside with Mr. Throgmorton. Lucky rascal missed everything, and I have no idea where Lewis or Throgmorton's son got to. Starting to suspect the worst.
Do you know how Paul died?
I don't know. When I pulled myself together, he was already gone. Kay have mercy on his soul.
So who is Kay?
Who is this K you keep mentioning?
Outsiders, show some respect. Kay is our lord, our light, our love.
Sorry, I didn't know.
So, they worship Kay.
I'll leave you to it.
But I can't think
Take
of
care of
anybody
yourself,
like
Will.
Kay.
Please, detective, sir, tell me the truth. Could it be me? Did I kill Paul? Or, Kay, did I kill him?
I don't know yet, Will. The police will stop anyone coming in or out of here, so I suggest you just try and get some rest.
I'm afraid of what I might dream.
New clues, huh? What do we have now? Masonry veteran. Nope. Not one. What's this, though?
Choo choo. Ahem. Choo choo. Ahem.
Well, at least that's the thing. Ooh, interesting.
Choo choo. Ahem.
The door keeps making noise every time. It's like wind or something. Everything. Also, we should probably invest.
I can barely recognize the face of the poor fella. He was beaten to a pulp.
Okay, I'm hanging. That's not good for my safety. Definitely not good. Also documents as well. Casework. Testimony. Robert's request. What's our mind powers? So, the mind powers is basically we toss two things together and hope it works. Buy clues and make deductions. Don't think we have anything yet to really make deductions.
I'm surprised they don't have someone's portrait here.
Oh, and by the way, I need to raise the audio a bit. That's fine. Okay. Sort of sounding as you see on the side of the screen. I feel that we should use this. We could see.
Glenna, Nehri, Glenna, Gebhal, Nugulina, Hafton.
Protagonist. Well,
seen knives like this before. Masterful work.
That seems like a cult day.
Seems like Prohibition hasn't affected Oakmont too much. So, that's what an Innsmouther looks like.
Fish people. Curse of the Whale Jaguar. The modern Samson. Drummer. Return to the Spider God. So, there's this. Cause you know, this is the thing. Just in case we haven't really read about. Use mind's eye whenever you see a distortion in the corners of the screen. Hear a ringing sound. Now you feel images of the past, delusions, omens, or trance that where it's invincible. MacGuffin signed. Mind's eye can reveal omens that guide your way. Follow them. Recognition. Recognition allows you to understand events that happened in the past. Expect enough evidence when seeing a visual emerge. Step into it and find all the crucial scenes. Mark them in the right order to gain new evidence. So,
Take this, ape face.
looks like you were shot.
Yeah, run!
Got out of here that way. And what do we have over here?
What's happening?
Okay, let's see what we have here.
Ran out.
What's
Take this, ape face. Yeah, run!
When Albert Throgmorton woke up, he was not himself. He attacked the fishermen, and his hysteria spread to them. When he got wounded, he fled.
So now we collected all the key evidence. Now we go to the mind powers. Investigation of the main quest reveals clues for your mind powers. Open the case work and then switch to mind powers. Combine powers with relevant clues to get evidence. Crucial information for the case is added to the casework. Deductions. These explain nuances of the case. They displayed in the mind powers. Some deductions can be interpreted differently. This can lead to different conclusions. Discover all possible conclusions before you understand the case. But it's up to you how you solve it. So we go to the mind powers. I thought one was interesting. He purchased after their fans for fishermen. Everyone spread some sort of psychic influence made everyone nearby suffer hysteria. Back. No, I said back does not mean that. I have to actually click on it again. Okay. As in my favorite separate things with armors, that could be a reason to hate them. I could try to Albert and the fisherman there was for the scene after the night they find the house. I can track them using my supernatural sense. Don't know if we have anything else to attach it to. But yeah, we can track him down now. So now we know what to do to track down. Engage our supernatural sense. Or start seeing what's happening now.
won't budge.
Okay, where was I? Where do I go? Lost my ghostly element. This way? Maybe it's this way. There's the almonds. Yoo-hoo. That is totally
You look
wrong.
familiar, but old Billy hasn't seen you around.
Totally.
You look familiar, but old Billy hasn't seen you around.
Well, at least he didn't mind me hitting him with a shovel. Okay, we always need to head back this way. Herp. Come on, it's like a go. Seems like I lost with all my friend. Okay, okay. No wonder I couldn't follow anymore. So, showcase.
So the fisherman pursued Albert, even let off a few shots.
I know where now we could fall. Now,
Even though Albert was wounded, he managed to climb that high. Robert wasn't exaggerating when he said he raised him strong.
yeah. And now it's unlocked. Covered in hands.
There's something in the pocket.
Well, let's see what it is. Lewis, please just give me one more week. I know I owe you. But I'm underwater like everyone else right now. I don't yet have enough stock to operate the bar smoothly with the fire snip here on the port. Don't worry, I've struck a nice deal with the proper people, and I should have a steady supply to China soon. Just one week and I'll join anything with no interest. Interesting. Oh, so hey,
The
look.
blood is fresh. Whomever it belongs to could not have got far.
What's in here? Gunpowder. So, what's upstairs? We don't know, because the door's locked. Great, super. Well, what's downstairs? Follow the blood trail.
The door won't budge.
So we pop it. So there's that. That's a thing. You stop doing
One fatal round through the forehead. That's no accident. This was deliberate.
Stop that. So I found that out.
One fatal round through the forehead. That's no accident. This was deliberate.
Are you dead? Okay. Gotta get the hell you are. Make me lose my scent. So now, mind powers. See if it flashes enough times, they'll eventually notice that I should go back there. Which may have wanted out dead. Lewis may be at the bar. Lewis then smiled with like killed Albert. Maybe I am hiding at the bar. Okay. So Lewis may be at the bar. We should probably head to the bar. What all I want first? Trying to get most of the first case done. Oh, fine.
Oh, yeah. Hey, got a spare bullet, fella? I ain't eaten in days.
By the way, money is basically ammunition. Because that's gonna be an odd system.
I'll miss the carpenter's food giveaway with this darn port closure.
Stay alert. Monsters lurk underground. They're everywhere.
You don't say. The hell are you doing?
Come closer, troubled soul. Let me tell you what your future holds.
You're some kind of, fortune teller?
Yes, my dear, yes. Oh, it's so clear. Your path holds many surprises,
I'm
newcomer.
Sure.
Really? Like what?
Not so fast, newcomer. I see many things. For a small fee, I'll tell you some of them.
Alright, how much? $1?
Your money has no value here, newcomer. After the flood, Oakmonters deal in the practical. Booze, smokes, and bullets. And I'll make it easier for you. I don't smoke.
Let's hear what my future holds.
Good. Let me focus. The sea will be generous in the coming days. Many gifts delivered, and many will regret partaking.
I don't think I follow.
I see old and new. A hard heart against an iron will. Whoever wins, you win too. But you'll only see that from inside a metal cage. And tall pillars, circled by the dead. A race from one to the next, as time itself laughs.
I think I'd like my bullet back.
It is what it is. The truth will out soon. Me, I just caught an early glimpse.
Why do I feel like I got scammed?
We lost the board. Oh well.
Welcome to Under the Keel. What do you want?
So
I've seen some unsettling creatures around. Like nothing I've ever encountered. What are they?
So you met a wild beast, newcomer.
A wild.
No one knows what they are, but consider yourself lucky to still be in one piece. They arrived in the flood. Some say they come from the sea. Others that they are Kay's punishment for us.
And what do you say?
If it bleeds, you can kill it. Keep your gun handy. And if you want to erase the memory, I sell a perfect cure right here. Remember, better to be a coward and live than brave
If they
and
came
dead.
from the sea, wouldn't they be deep?
Unless you're a newcomer.
Well, they remind me sort of like the Shambler from Call of Cthulhu, which is an outer-world horror thing.
I'm looking for a man by the name of Lewis Flynn. Any chance he's here?
Yeah. Even if I knew, I don't rat to newcomers.
Yeah, but I can...
As it happens, I know you owe a debt to Mr. Flynn. Trouble is, I found your note near the dead body of Albert Throgmorton, son of Robert. So, it seems Lewis is in trouble. Might have even come here to hide. But you hand him over, and he won't be back to collect what you owe. Get me?
Throck. That would explain the blood. Fine. If it gets me out of this mess, you can have him.
So?
He's upstairs. Here's the key. You gotta promise to deal with him, once and for all. But save the shooting for outside, huh?
Smart man. There's your good deed for the day. Bye.
What the? Get the... Oh.
Okay. There were plates. I'm guessing...
Hey, who are you? What are you doing?
Charles Reed, private investigator. Mr. Throgmorton hired me to find his son Albert, so I think you know why I'm here.
Throg. That darn bartender. It was all that crazy ape's fault. You hear me?
Calm down. I only want to speak, for now. But no, if you reach for your gun, you'll hit the floor faster than you can say poetic justice.
I got nothing to hide.
So why do you look like
What kind of... why do you... your face, it's,
Oh, so you're here to attack me just 'cause I look different to you? Wanna spit on me, whisper to your friends? What's new?
No, I'm sorry. I didn't know how to ask. I've just never met someone like you before. I didn't mean any offense.
Innsmouther's bodies were blessed by the sea. You're gonna see a lot of us here, so you better get over it. We are proud of who we are.
Anyway, so what happened?
Start at the beginning. What happened?
We were in our house, me, Paul, and Will. Barry'd gone to the sea. Though I told him that it would only bring bad luck. If he'd listened to me, we'd all still be alive.
Come on, Lewis. Focus.
Right. Well, Barry dragged that damn ape to our house. He was bragging about how much Mr. Throgmorton would give us for saving his son. But that ape, he was out cold. Then woke in an instant and started screaming, attacking us. After that, can't remember a thing.
So why'd you murder him?
You shot to kill. No warning, no second chances. You pursued Albert even after he fled. Why?
I can't remember it. When he woke, it was like a bloody mist descended over me. First thing I recall after is that darn warehouse and me covered in blood. I had no idea what happened, though. I suspected it had something to do with that ape. Turns out, I was right.
So, madness.
I hear there's a bit of a feud between the Innsmouthers and the Throgmortons. Care to fill me in?
Those apes hated us from the moment we arrived in Oakmont. Our home was destroyed. We just needed a place to stay. The Blackwood Grand family sheltered us, but others were not as hospitable. We needed jobs, food, and medicine. The city denied it all.
And so?
We had to fight for every crumb of bread. And those Throgmortons in their high castle only made our life harder, always conspiring behind our backs, always setting people against us. I'd love to see them suffer like we suffered.
Almost sounds like excuse. Almost sounds like deliberately like he went after him.
You mentioned a grand family. What do you mean?
So you're a newcomer, huh? Explains a lot.
Yeah, a newcomer with a gun. Answer the question.
Okay. People here are crazy about bloodlines and tradition and reputation. The head honchos of Oakmont are called the Grand Families. There's the Carpenters, who control most of the city's underworld, the Blackwoods, who share kin with Innsmouthers through the Marsh family.
And let me guess, the Throgmortons.
Right, those filthy apes. Now that most of the Blackwoods are gone, there's nobody left to protect us Innsmouthers.
The things you did to Albert don't look like a bloody rage. A fatal shot to the head, a hidden body. One might start to wonder if it was deliberate.
I don't know what to say. I wasn't myself.
I think I've got all I need.
Please, Mr. Reed, don't tell Throgmorton about me. I know I'm in no position to ask. I didn't want to do whatever it is I did. Honest, have mercy, please. I have a family. Without me, they'll starve.
This is not exactly cut and dry. I need some time to think.
Perhaps I can offer something to grease your grinds. I still have a few bullets on me.
It turns out I arrived here unprepared for business. You give me a little something to get started, and my lips are sealed.
I knew you'd understand. Here you are, Mr. Reed.
I might be saying, why would you do that? Because he gave me the stuff. Doesn't mean I fully agreed to it. I thought about it. I probably should mind powers because it's saying mind powers. So. Lewis was aware of his actions, or Lewis was mentally affected? Honestly, it's probably this one, because, yeah. But we could also change it to this one. Because Lewis delivering murdered. Because technically, you can connect them. But you could also say it was mentally affected. And Lewis was under mental influence. Can't control his actions, and thus can't be blamed. I could try and cover. I could. The question is, do I want? Regardless, we should say. So, what of these whale beasts? Wild beasts.
Mr. Throgmorton, I've encountered something.
What? I don't have all day.
Some unusual creatures, and they sure weren't friendly.
You've seen a wild beast, Mr. Reed. I'm somewhat surprised to see you still alive. Those unsettling things appeared after the flood. I've commissioned a few studies on them, but we know little more than when we started. They're aggressive, but fortunately not immune to gunfire.
Yeah, I learned that firsthand.
Try to avoid them when possible. And when you can't, keep your weapons handy.
Okay.
Mr. Throgmorton, I'm afraid I have bad news.
Oh, no.
Yeah, I found your son in the basement of a nearby warehouse. I'm sorry, but he was murdered. Shot in the head and the body hidden.
No. It cannot be true. No, no, no. I don't believe it. No.
I've tracked down your son's murderer.
Where? Who is he?
So now, here's the thing. I could say he's dead. But here's the thing. Have I ever really liked fish people? Not really.
Just as I suspected, the Innsmouther Lewis is responsible for your son's murder. He's hiding at the local bar. Just ask the bartender. Seems like he had a bone to pick with your family, and took it out on Albert.
Oh, that scum won't be getting off easy. The whole city shall see what happens when you cross the Throgmortons. Justice, bittersweet as it is, shall be served. It's rare for a newcomer to make himself so useful. Thank you.
Mr. Throgmorton, I hate to press you, but do you think you could help me now?
Yes, you've earned it. Okay, to think a newcomer barely off the boat solves a crime the police couldn't, but I digress. Remind me, what brought you to Oakmont?
I think I'm going mad, Mr. Throgmorton. I see things, visions, and I need it to stop. I was drawn here, or guided, or I don't know. But I believe the source of this madness is here, in Oakmont.
You're not wrong, Mr. Reed. An inexplicable hysteria spread through Oakmont after the flood. I funded an expedition to explore recent geological activity that may be responsible.
Do these cases of hysteria involve shared visions as well?
Since the flood, many Oakmonters have had similar nightmares. Indeed, Professor Doe, the expedition leader, complained of them herself.
Waterlogged ruins with unnatural architecture, a sleeping giant, drowned streets, and a voice calling from the depths.
Her words exactly. She proposed the expedition, desperately wanting to find the cause.
A geological expedition? I'm not sure I follow.
I have reason to believe the flood and this madness have the same source. As above, so below. So I sent men to find out.
We have mass amounts of maps.
You mentioned the flood. You think it's more than just a natural disaster.
You weren't here, Mr. Reed. What happened defied scientific explanation.
Has your expedition found anything?
I do not know. Albert was part of it. His passing cannot be coincidence. Why was he alone at the port? And where are the others?
You think your son was killed because the expedition uncovered something?
Is it so hard to believe? I had no news for a week, then Albert, the only one I could trust, comes ashore and is killed.
It does sound suspicious.
Mr. Reed, I want you to find out what's going on. I expect you're as interested in the expedition's results as I am.
If I'm going to look into this, I'll need to know more. Where should I start?
I'll give you the address of the expedition's headquarters and a key.
That's all you can tell me?
Let me be clear, Reed. You do not speak to me like that again.
I'm sorry, Mr. Throckmorton. I just meant the more I know, the better.
I am a busy man. I funded the research, but left all preparations to Professor Doe and Albert. When you've finished, come see me at the Throgmorton family manor. It's in Old Grove. Here, I'll show you.
What about my expenses?
They will be reimbursed after you complete your task. And of course, you've earned some compensation for your work here at the port. I'll also include a fair advance in bullets.
Bullets?
The dollar lost its use here, Mr. Reed. After the flood, Oakmont returned to bartering. Bullets mean more than bills.
First look at skills. You have a knowledge point. And I want to put it into gaining more knowledge. Huzzah. So we have the Fortune Teller's Prophecy. In the next video, because it's been quite a bit. Boop. So yeah, hope y'all enjoyed. Thank y'all. Have a nice day.